Yo, what's going on, everybody? Back with another watch list. Had a couple people reach out via Twitter, DM, and all the above, and looking for another live stream. So I thought I would come back, hop on, talk about my last 2 weeks. I just finished up my review and spreadsheet data entry and stuff. So I've got all that kind of data fresh in my mind. An update based on like my January recap, and then what's been going on here the last couple weeks. Let me resize my chart. I can see that that's a bit off. Fix that. There we go. But yeah, a little bit of review what's going on, maybe make a watch list going into next week. I believe tomorrow is a holiday. I don't think the market's open tomorrow. But yeah, so let's get into it. I'll start off with big picture. SPY is just not going anywhere. I haven't touched the bigger picture swing trades in quite a while, just because this isn't the environment for it. And there is definitely very, very little follow through in terms of that strategy. We are getting a ton of names starting to break down, like something like Hood, for example, is in like a multi-week, multi-month downtrend, just getting smoked. Meanwhile, SPY is still up at the highs, and there's countless names. You had Apple pull back recently. You had Microsoft pull back quite a bit. You had Netflix. You had AVGO. I remember trading this one. That one's off the highs. Coin, all the crypto names. Just everything's getting whacked. Meanwhile, SPY is still right up at the highs. So I could see a gut check coming in on the overall market. But we will see. I took 2 trades on some larger caps this past week. One of them was on coin. This was February 6th. Going into that Friday was this day. So we had big capitulation, speed up, going like gap down, extension, gap down, extension, and then a bigger day, bigger range, bigger volume day, closed right at the lows, and went even lower that day in after hours. So I was looking forward to the gap down. Unfortunately, we did gap up, so there just wasn't quite as much meat on the bone. But I bought the gap up, risked the low a day, and didn't sell any. And was looking for the gap up continuation in the 170s, 180s. We got a gap down. I sold the pop back up into red to green and moved on from that one. That was basically like the biggest trade of the last 2 weeks for me, was this coin dip buy. Was just able to get some nice tight risk reward. I can go back to that intraday. The rest of them I'll go over a few of those other trades, but just kind of chopping back and forth. So you can see this big wick. I reacted to that week open, risking prior bar lows. Once we broke the opening range highs, I added to that starter, got full size, risking low a day right through here, and just let the trade work, and it went steady highs all day. AVGO, I tried this breakdown trade. We had this huge base, this gap that did fill, but we had this prior low, prior low, prior low, 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 and then we started to roll over and break down and really start to close below moving averages and some range expansion days. So I was short here in the 320s, risking high a day, risking about $10 a share, and we got the gap down and fail, ran down, was up about $30 a share, so it was up like 3-1. And I didn't take it. I was looking for the major unwind. My other chart here doesn't have the moving averages for some reason, which is a little bit weird. But I was looking for the 200 was right around 300 or so, and it broke it. And I was like, oh, this thing's really going to get whacked. and it ended up holding up, and we got a gap on some news in after hours. Basically gave back the entire trade, was right here. So I was short here for the breakdown. I can't remember if I added, but I know I definitely didn't cover any. And then we get this massive move right back up. I was now down in the position, and so I covered back onto this gap down the next day and just moved on. But just choppy. The other couple trades, I was looking for IBRX to break down under this 550s. We got this hard crack. I was leaning into these pops, and I scaled into it here once we started to break this 590s and move risk to like these mid sixes. I was looking for this 550 breakdown, and it held. Looks pretty good now off that fail there on Friday. I do think this goes lower. This is like an SRNE type Sorrento type name, if you remember back in the COVID days. I think this is like a zero. It's just a matter of when, not if. So I could see this going quite a bit lower, but the timing will be the key one on that one. I'll touch on QNCX after. I want to touch on these breakouts where we're getting like some straight up spikes, lots of range, but not super clean patterns playing out. We had NCI breakout through the 340s, was looking good there on Friday. Push, consolidate, breakout, and then just gives back its entire move. We had SGN right here, a little break through that 35 level, and then fail. We had Hura, a little break through those 150s. This was the first red day I traded right here. But it broke out again and failed. Could probably touch on that first red day. I kind of minimized it just because I was getting off desk. I had to go to work. But big multi-day run, 40 cents up to 160. We got that first day going red right here. Hard crack, lower high. I'm leaning all through here in the 130s, risking 151. Scale under red and under low a day and looking to let this thing work. Goal was 105 for covers, just based on the daily 4 EMA, which it ended up hitting, but I was all covered basically right through here just because I had to go. But ended up working fairly well, but short 130s, like 134, risking 150, and then covering like 120 is only like a 1-to-1 trade. So nothing really crazy on that one, but it was just another one that tried to break out and failed. SUNE tried to go, failed. I saw Rhyme here running after hours there on Friday. So far gapping up pretty big. I think this is going to be a case similar to QNCX, where you get the big gap and you probably get the morning shove. And it's just a matter of, do you want to try and nail the top, or do you want to let it fail and then short bounces and catch the rest of the meat? But you can see how much harder it is over here versus once you get this backside shorting anywhere through here or here, and then it just never sees higher prices. So I could see something like that happening on Rhyme, where going into Tuesday, the next market open, if we're gapping up crazy, there's probably some opportunity to look to try to nail the top for that overextension. But I also think it probably has some more run in it, and then maybe the following day being able, or maybe even in the afternoon or the following day, being able to short pops into resistance that's been set and get a much easier fade out of it. So I'll keep this one on watch for a multi-day run there. JZXN is hard fails, but I'll still throw some price alerts up there at 280. NCI, excuse me. Bless me. This one failed. No need to watch that one. SGN. Now that this is holding higher lows, we had a push, higher low, failed its breakout, but then held a higher low versus prior support. came back up, double topped, and as long as this holds up and doesn't break back below this like 16, 17 area, I would consider it a push higher low and then maybe get that 35 break. So I'd keep that one on watch. Here, this one's still getting those bottom wicks. I can't take it off watch just because we're still getting this kind of action. And, well, basically that flat top and these higher lows. So if this can actually break and build 150s plus, I think it could get going. It's proven that it can gap and go, gap and go, gap and go on those multi-day moves. And given these wicks on the daily keeps getting absorbed, I'll keep that one on watch. SUNE, price alerts up at 240s. QNCX, this one's just got an ATM and super dilutive former liquidation name. I had tried to bounce this one on Friday. I traded this one to the long side. Basically right, it looks better on the 1 minute so I don't look like such an idiot. But we had this pull. And then I bought right through here at 28 on the opening range break. 28 risking 26, nice 2 cents a share. And then I got wicked right here pretty good for a bit bigger than a loss than I wanted under the lows. But I ended up going lower, so that's all right. But I did try to bounce that one thinking that this has been straight. So since this hard crack, it was giving shorts a hard time the higher it went. Since this hard crack, it's been super easy for shorts. So now if this were to actually start to gain some traction and maybe start to move, you might get that skip that kind of shorts trip over themselves. You get that little cover for the last hurrah before it fades back to lows. It didn't happen, but I did give that one a shot and took a loss there on Friday. And then IBRX, I touched on that one. Nice pops and fail. I like that daily candle there on Friday, proving that it couldn't go higher. So I'll still keep a watch on this 550 breakdown. Let's see who's here in the chat. We got Luke, Stuff and Such, Gator, what's going on? Spy lower, says Luke. Citadel has a big short position in AI sectors. Cool. But yeah, this is pretty much, guess I'll throw some price alerts on this one. Price alerts on this one. Rhyme, higher the better. SGN 35 breakout. IBRX at 550 breakdown. Hura 150 breakout. And that's about it. I'm still sticking to the same game plan. So Hura was my main trade last week, and then Coin was my main trade the week before here, came on the Friday. But I'm still trying to do less is more. I did have a couple trades that were like undisciplined that I noticed. It wasn't this one, it was CCHH. It was this one. I had bought this 140s breakout right through here. We were gapping up this day, the 11th. So I had bought this 140s break basically right here. I added into it in the 150s, risking low a day. Got stopped out there fairly quick. Nothing really to it. Was a lower volume day, but that's typically how those third day surges work, where it gets a big move, consolidate, and holds up. Was looking for that breakout. I like it when that day two holds over that prior day's VWAP. Unfortunately, it did make a big move in after hours, so probably something to note there that it doesn't have as much spikeability going into the next day when it already did that move in after hours. And then Boxel, I tried this one as well on this day for the breakout here through the twos. We had this multi-time frame here of like a couple days and a couple weeks, and it was breaking out through that range. So I was joining that trend right here. So we got the big move. I was buying through here, buying and adding through there. Got full size versus low a day. and then ended up getting stopped. I just set a stop, went to work, and came back, and I had gotten stopped out somewhere in here. So another one that didn't work. You can see these breakouts just pop and fail, and same thing with CCHH, pop and fail. So until we get one that works, they probably continue to not work. But if something like, maybe Hira, that one already did pop and fail. So if this loses 120s, it probably rolls over. But if that starts to build 150, maybe people start to chase these breakouts again. So I'll continue to keep them on watch, because once one works, breakouts are usually fairly cyclical. So I will keep it on watch. But other than that, not a ton else. Continue to take it slow. If you guys are in Investors Underground, I update there quite often. I'm in the room every morning, and I post my watch list written with some visuals on the charts. I post over there, and then I retweet them on my Twitter anytime I'm putting out those watch lists. So definitely check those out if you're missing me and not on these live streams all the time. But I'm not trading as active right now, just given the current environment, and especially seeing a bunch of traders in like massive drawdowns, like losing like 70% of their accounts. And I don't want to be in that boat. So I've definitely taken a step back, doing less is more, couple trades a week, and trying to sink my teeth into the ones that really work. We still got 2 weeks here in February, and then at the end of the month is Traders for a Cause. So those are my talking points, and if nothing comes up in the chat here in the next 30 seconds or so, I will close it out. But I will give you guys a minute. In about 47 minutes, the Pikachu Illustrator card, the auction starts from Logan Paul. Extended bidding starts Sunday. Over 6.6 million. Curious to see what that card ends up going for. Will be crazy. Thank you, Dawson. No problem. Alrighty, guys, I will wrap it up there. Head off to dinner. And I hope you guys enjoy your long weekend. Like I say, I believe the market's closed tomorrow. You can fact check me, but I won't be trading tomorrow anyways. But this is the watch list for Tuesday, I guess, and the week ahead. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week.